English for Real. Shadowing.
Welcome back to another English shadowing practice. Sarah is back, and this time, she is going somewhere new. If you have been following along with the previous story videos, you already know Sarah well. You know her morning routine. You know how she gets ready. You know how she moves through her day with calm and intention. And every time you repeated her story out loud, you built a little more English confidence for yourself. Today is different though. Today is Friday evening, and Sarah has been looking forward to this weekend for a long time. She is packing a small bag, she has a plan, and she is ready for a short trip out of the city. This is going to be a fun one. Same method as always: listen, pause, and repeat out loud. Let's follow Sarah on her weekend adventure. Here's something worth thinking about before we begin. One of the biggest challenges in learning a new language is that practice often feels disconnected from real life. You repeat sentences in a quiet room, and then you step into the real world, and everything feels different. The words don't come. The confidence disappears. But when you practice English through stories, real situations, real places, real emotions, something different happens. Your brain starts to associate the language with experience, with feeling, with context. Today's story takes Sarah somewhere new. A different environment, different conversations, different emotions. And as you repeat her story, your brain is filing away not just the words, but the entire experience around them. A weekend trip. The excitement of leaving. The feeling of arriving somewhere beautiful. The simple joy of a different routine. That kind of contextual learning is incredibly powerful. And you're doing it right now, just by showing up and practicing. So take a breath, relax, and let's travel with Sarah. Same method as always, simple and effective. Listen to each sentence carefully. When you hear the pause, repeat out loud with a natural, confident voice. Don't rush. Don't whisper. Keep the flow going even if you make a small mistake. The story moves forward, and so do you. Ready? Let's begin. It is Friday evening, and Sarah is excited. It is Friday evening, and Sarah is excited. She has planned a short trip for the weekend. She has planned a short trip for the weekend. She is going to a small town near the mountains. She is going to a small town near the mountains. She has never been there before. She has never been there before. And she cannot wait to explore something new. And she cannot wait to explore something new. Sarah opens her bag on the bed and starts to pack. Sarah opens her bag on the bed and starts to pack. She folds two sets of clothes and places them inside. She folds two sets of clothes and places them inside. She adds her toothbrush, her journal, and a good book. She adds her toothbrush, her journal, and a good book. She always brings a book when she travels. She always brings a book when she travels. She checks the weather for the weekend. She checks the weather for the weekend. It will be cool and sunny. Perfect weather for walking. It will be cool and sunny. Perfect weather for walking. She zips up her bag, picks up her keys, and smiles. She zips up her bag, picks up her keys, and smiles. She is ready. She is ready. Great job. Sarah is packed and ready to go, and your English is already flowing beautifully. Notice how naturally the packing sequence moves. One action after another, connected and clear. She folds, she adds, she checks, she zips. That rhythm is very natural in English storytelling. When you repeat it, you are training your brain to produce that same natural flow. Keep it going. Sarah takes the train to the small mountain town. Sarah takes the train to the small mountain town. The journey takes about 2 hours. The journey takes about 2 hours. She finds a window seat and settles in comfortably. She finds a window seat and settles in comfortably. As the train moves, the city slowly disappears. As the train moves, the city slowly disappears. Green fields and tall trees appear outside the window. Green fields and tall trees appear outside the window. Sarah takes out her book and starts to read. Sarah takes out her book and starts to read. But after a while, she puts the book down. But after a while, she puts the book down. The view outside is too beautiful to ignore. The view outside is too beautiful to ignore. She leans her head against the window and just watches. She leans her head against the window and just watches. She feels peaceful and completely free. She feels peaceful and completely free. Excellent. You are already past the halfway point of today's story, and Sarah is almost there too. I want to highlight one sentence from that block. The view outside is too beautiful to ignore. That is a very natural and expressive English sentence. Too beautiful to ignore. It's simple, but it paints a picture immediately. When you repeat phrases like this, you are not just practicing grammar. You are absorbing the way English expresses beauty, feeling, and experience. That's the kind of English that stays with you. Let's arrive in the mountain town with Sarah. The train pulls into the small station just after noon. The train pulls into the small station just after noon. Sarah steps off and takes a deep breath of fresh mountain air. Sarah steps off and takes a deep breath of fresh mountain air. The town is quiet, charming, and full of character. The town is quiet, charming, and full of character. Old stone buildings line the main street. Old stone buildings line the main street. Small shops and cafes are open on both sides. Small shops and cafes are open on both sides. Sarah walks slowly and takes everything in. Sarah walks slowly and takes everything in. She stops at a little cafe and orders a coffee and a sandwich. She stops at a little cafe and orders a coffee and a sandwich. The woman behind the counter smiles warmly at her. The woman behind the counter smiles warmly at her. Sarah sits outside at a small table and eats slowly. Sarah sits outside at a small table and eats slowly. She thinks, this is exactly what I needed. She thinks, this is exactly what I needed. Beautiful. Sarah is exactly where she needs to be, and so is your English practice. That block was full of descriptive language. Quiet, charming, and full of character. Old stone buildings line the main street. These sentences do more than describe a place. They teach you how English creates atmosphere and mood. Storytellers use this kind of language all the time. And now you've practiced it out loud. Let's finish the day with Sarah. After exploring the town all afternoon, Sarah returns to her small hotel. After exploring the town all afternoon, Sarah returns to her small hotel. Her room is simple but cozy and warm. Her room is simple but cozy and warm. She sits on the bed and opens her journal. She sits on the bed and opens her journal. She writes about everything she saw and felt today. She writes about everything she saw and felt today. The fresh air, the quiet streets, the kind woman at the cafe. The fresh air, the quiet streets, the kind woman at the cafe. She writes, sometimes a short trip changes everything. She writes, sometimes a short trip changes everything. Later, she eats a simple dinner at a nearby restaurant. Later, she eats a simple dinner at a nearby restaurant. She smiles at the other travelers sitting around her. She smiles at the other travelers sitting around her. That night, she sleeps better than she has in weeks. That night, she sleeps better than she has in weeks. Tomorrow she will explore more, but tonight, she is simply happy. Tomorrow she will explore more, but tonight, she is simply happy. And that's the end of Sarah's first day on her weekend trip, and the end of today's practice. You just traveled with Sarah from her apartment all the way to a quiet mountain town. You practiced packing, commuting, arriving, exploring, and reflecting, all in natural, flowing English. That is an incredible range of real-world language in a single session. Think about what you've built across these 3 story videos. Sarah's daily routine at home, her day out at the office, and now a weekend trip to somewhere new. Each story has brought new vocabulary, new situations, and new English experiences into your practice. And every single time you repeated a sentence out loud, you made your English a little more automatic, a little more natural, a little more yours. That's what consistent practice does. And you're doing it. Keep going. Sarah still has Sunday ahead of her, and there are many more stories, many more situations, and many more opportunities to practice waiting for you on this channel. See you in the next video. Before you go, 3 quick things. Thumbs up if you enjoyed traveling with Sarah today. Hit the like button. It takes 1 second and helps more English learners find this content. Subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you never miss a new story. Sarah's adventures continue, and so does your English practice. Speech Balloon, leave a comment below. Have you ever taken a short trip like Sarah's? Or just write story 3 done. I read every single comment, and hearing from you genuinely motivates me to keep creating these stories for you. Thank you for practicing with me today. See you in the next one.